Welcome to Camp America's Tell Me Small. We're back. Another Camp America podcast. New people, new podcast, new season. Let's go.
The best podcast out there.
All right, Matt.
My name is Matt. I have done 6 summers at Camp Sebago. I may be a bit biased, but it is the best camp in the world. I have now joined Camp America in the last 6 or so weeks, I think now. So I'm in the marketing department and I'm really enjoying it.
Lovely. So I go to YMCA Camp Copenhagen in Michigan, which is the best camp in America. I've been going for 3 summers. Yeah, love it. Can't imagine a summer without camp.
I'm Phoebes. I've just spent my last summer at Pontiac, so that'll be my 2nd year, and it's the best camp ever.
Oh, wow.
Yep. And I've been working at Camp America for the last 2 years, and now I'm the marketing lead, and we're doing a podcast, which is exciting. The main reason for this podcast is kind of to tell applicants that are just starting out how they can get hired and the different ways you can get hired, because obviously it's not just as simple as online anymore. And drum roll, please. So we will be in Edinburgh and Birmingham on the 11th of November and the 12th of November for our recruitment fairs to get hired on the spot. We love a road trip.
We sure do.
So the idea is that you... Over to you.
You rock up to the recruitment fair in Birmingham or Edinburgh. You're going to meet a load of different camps. I think we've got over 50
Yeah.
this time. You get to walk around like the hall, and they're each going to have a little stall up. You get to talk to all of their camp directors, and it's a super fun time where you get to socialise with them and kind of just get a sort of a feel for what your boss or your camp could look like in summer.
And meet us.
Exactly.
So we can answer any questions you have, or if you need help with your application, or if you're not sure on a camp, or you just kind of want a second opinion, we'll all be there to help.
Mm-hmm.
All been to a recruitment fair when we started off the process. So you guys both got hired at a recruitment fair.
Mm-hmm.
I went to a recruitment fair, but they wasn't... Okay, no need to rub it in. Alright. But I was looking for quite a specific role because I wanted to be a dance instructor, so I ended up actually getting hired online in the end. But yeah, why don't you guys tell us a little bit about your experience, how you found it?
Yeah, I'll go for it. So I went to the fair in London back in 2019. I did loads of research before I went. I had like 10 top camps I really wanted to go to. So I got to the fair nice and early, got in, and all the camps I was interested in weren't hiring for a general counsellor, which is what I wanted to do. So I got a bit overwhelmed at first, you know. I had to go and step out into the corridor. I spoke to someone from Camp America.
Us.
Yeah, you guys. And they just calmed me down. They was like, just go and find camps that have their boards, that have all the different job roles on them, which the camps will have. And look out for the ones that say general counsellor. So I did that. I went back in, I calmed myself down, and I spoke to one camp who were hiring. I wasn't old enough, you had to be 21 to go to that camp.
Yeah, some camps have that, don't they?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I think it's like a state thing, maybe. I don't know.
I think they just don't want underage drinking. But
Yeah,
that's fine, that's another
Probably
topic.
that. Maybe. But yeah, so I spoke to them. They were really nice. Obviously, I was just a little bit too young. I was 19, I think. But they pointed me in the direction of a camp just over the road from them, well, across the room. So I went over to them. Just over the road. I went over to them. They asked me questions like what I'd do in certain situations. Have I been to America before? It was just a chit chat really with these 2 directors from a camp. They told me to speak to this British guy who'd also been to the camp. He was there helping out. And 30 seconds later, they called me back, and I had a job in Michigan.
Nice.
And that's where the story
I think
started.
it's nice when they have people there that are like helping out, that
Yeah.
are actually British as well, because then you get to
Exactly.
hear like someone's actual experiences.
Yeah.
So that's always quite nice.
Wait,
Yeah.
did they call you like after you left the store and you walked away? And
No, I literally. No, so I was sitting down and I literally stood up, turned my back so they could have a little private discussion. And then I just turned back around again, sat down, and they told me the good news. Gave me a little free t-shirt, a wristband, got my picture taken for Instagram. It's lovely.
Sick.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of a good thing to look at when you go to the fairs, is actually what people are hiring for.
Yeah.
Because even though you're going to have a list of all the camps that you might have looked up online, some of them might not actually be hiring, or they might have already filled it by the time you get there. So I think it's kind of important to actually look, because there's no point wasting a camp director's time or your time talking to a camp that has no space for, I don't know, a water ski instructor or something.
Yeah, there was a camp I really liked the look of actually, and it had such a long line. I was like, there's just no point in getting in the line if they're not hiring for general counsellors anyway.
Yeah.
that's when I spoke to Camp America people and they helped me out.
So if you go online, if you go onto www.campamerica.co.uk/recruitment-fairs, you can, I know that's quite good. You can click on either Edinburgh and Birmingham, and then if you scroll to the bottom, there'll be a whole list of the camps attending. So that's where you can really like do your research.
I remember being told in my interview, just go and speak to everybody.
Yeah.
And I went over, and they were super nice to me. And funny enough, 6 summers later, I'm still going back. Talk to everybody when you go, because you never know who you're going to meet.
I think it's also good as well. Like, I made a friend in the queue.
Yeah, me
And like
too.
I followed her camp journey,
Yeah.
she followed mine. Like obviously I went a few years later because of COVID and everything. But I think it's quite like it's good to even meet just other people that are doing the same thing. And then especially if you get to meet people that go into your camp, that's just a bonus. Because I didn't know anyone.
Well, we do have the Facebook groups this year.
We'll be setting up Facebook groups for people going to either Edinburgh or Birmingham so that you can meet up before, or for example if you happen to get a hotel or something, you can meet up the night before. And also just if you're in the queue with someone that you can talk to, it just gives you a bit more confidence and it takes kind of the edge off, because it can be really overwhelming. I was so scared when I went to a recruitment fair.
Bring a bottle of water as well for the queue.
Yeah.
Because you don't talk sometimes for like ages, and then you finally get into the room and you're like
hello.
Yeah.
My top tips would be to research your camps, and when I say research, I mean like thoroughly research. Find out what days off they have, what kind of their like phone limitations are, and whether it's a day camp, night camp, that kind of thing, just to see whether you'd actually be comfortable there, because obviously all camps are different and have different rules and everything. It's a bit old-fashioned as well, but I'd print off your application.
Yeah, I did that.
Just so that then sometimes you can get nervous, you can forget your skills. I definitely do sometimes, and you can literally just hand them the application and be like, me, on a plate. So.
Oh yeah, there was this one kid in 2017 who literally printed out loads of his application and walked around the table just giving it out to him, like to everyone, and just left. Yeah. So.
I mean, a bit lazy, but
No.
somewhere in the middle. Another top tip. What would my other top tip be? Don't be modest.
No.
At the end of the day, you're competing with everyone to get the job that you want. So, and you can't be modest at camp. So it's a great starting point.
And they're Americans. They love when you brag and big yourself up. They're all about it.
Yeah. They might even ask you to do some weird, I don't know.
Handstands.
Yeah.
Roly-polies.
You never know what they're going to ask, especially if you do gymnastics.
Yeah.
What top tips be?
I think just be yourself. Like, as much as they are like job interviews, it's such a casual event. Like, it's not this scary big thing. Like, just be yourself. They're going to see every side of you when you are actually at camp. So just be who you are. They'll see who they're hiring.
You're interviewing them as well as much as they're interviewing you,
Yeah.
because you need to find the camp that's right for you.
Exactly.
So it's kind of, that's the one perk of the recruitment fair. You can be a little bit picky because you can actually go and direct, like, and talk to who you want to go, to, like, where you want to go. Obviously you can still get hired online, but I just think a recruitment fair is a great way.
Yeah.
I wish I got hired.
I'm glad I went to the fair. Not to brag, but no.
No, I feel like it allowed you to get to know the directors. Like, you just know a snippet of like what's to come. I feel like they've got so much more information than like, obviously you can get it off Google and like you can research it, but it's nice to hear it from them.
It's nice to have like a voice in your head, so that when you get there, it's like a familiar face. My camp do a reunion after as well, so everyone they've hired during the day then goes out in the evening.
What?
Yeah.
It's really nice.
So they'll have like the old people come, like the returners. So last year after our fair, I went and met my directors and then all the new people that got hired.
Yeah.
So it's just nice to
the new people come as well?
Yeah. So it was like everyone they hired during the day.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of, hello, what are you doing, how are you? But it's nice to then get to camp and for them to know like who you are and have like a familiar face. Yeah.
Because after I got hired at the fair, I went on the Camp America Facebook group and I was like, oh, did anyone get hired at Camp Copenhagen today? And like, I got a few people reply to me.
Did Alex reply?
No, he didn't get hired at the fair. That was a few late years
Alex works downstairs, by the way, just in case you're
we went to the same camp.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was speaking to people from like February time, like about going to camp, about what we're going to pack, stuff like that. It was really nice.
I was talking to people for years before I went.
Yeah, I bet.
Oh,
I was meant to go in 2019. I went in 2022 for the first time, but I had some great friends online.
I bet.
I don't know.
That's so weird that like you guys spoke to everybody before. Like,
Yeah,
that's
but
such a good idea.
Did you just turn up? You didn't know anyone at your camp?
I just rocked up. I saw loads of people in the 2017 was the grey. I think it was a grey t-shirt.
Yeah.
Everyone wore the grey t-shirts. And so I remember rocking up and seeing loads of people in these grey t-shirts, and I was like, oh, they must be going to my camp. Funny enough, there's like 800 camps. So they were going to other places, so I just like walked over to them and I was like, oh, hi, you going to Camp Tobago? And they're like, no, sorry.
Awkward.
And then finally, I just got onto the plane and I sat next to this girl called Millie, and she was going to Camp Tobago. And I was like, oh, sick.
Wow, the chances.
Yeah. So.
When I flew, I met 50 people going to my camp at
50?
Heathrow. Yeah, we all had a group chat and we all went together, like, all on the same flight. It was a lot, but it was nice.
Yeah.
But
I don't even have 50 internationals that go to my camp.
camp's quite big.
Yeah. Wow.
But then you have perks of a big camp and a small camp, because
Yeah.
everyone probably knows you and you're probably really close to everyone. Whereas my
Yeah.
camp, you can kind of fall in the cracks a little bit. But
What time did you get there at?
oh,
Wow.
I feel like you're going to be like someone that gets there really late. Don't be that person.
Yeah, don't be me.
Don't do that.
Yeah, I think I got there quite late, to be honest.
Oh, really?
When I went, I was like second in the queue.
Yeah.
What?
I think I got there at like 8:30.
Yeah.
Don't do that either, that's too early.
Somewhere in the middle. When you come, I might have spoken to some of you already. Well, I've phoned quite a few people up over the last couple of weeks, and basically we've been talking about a queue jump, and I'm going to offer it up right now. If you share this podcast, how are we going to verify that they've shared it?
You've got to tag us.
Yes, you have to tag us.
Yeah, you have to
okay.
tag us, share it.
And then I will give you a free queue jump pass, which basically means you get to go in before everyone else, even Phoebe, who was second in the line, you get to go in before her and arrive late, so, sick.
Yeah.
And it's basically a good chance to speak to camps before everybody else comes in, because it is a little bit like competitive sometimes, isn't it? Especially the bigger camps.
Yeah. And I think especially if you've got something in mind that you definitely, like a particular camp in mind that you definitely want to talk to, then it's good to get that kind of head start. And also, if you don't want to be so overwhelmed by so many people, it's quite nice to be one of the first in there when it's like a little bit quieter than what it is, I don't know, an hour into the fair when everyone's in there and there's lots of noise and everything. So I just think you should get queue jump and share our podcast. Just to recap, we will be in Edinburgh on Saturday the 11th of November from 10 a.m. So you can start queuing from around 9:30, and then on the Sunday we'll be in Birmingham, so that's Sunday the 12th of November, and that will start at 12, so get there around 11:30ish. Be there, be you, print out your application, research your camps, and just sell yourself, really.
Yeah.
That's what I have to say.
Be yourself, sell yourself.
Share the podcast for a free queue jump as well.
Make sure to hit subscribe and head over to our Spotify to hear some more of what we have to say.